What the heck? This is pretty cool. Huh. Well, hello. Welcome, everybody. Hi. It's new live stream time, and I've got all sorts of treats for you guys today. Stay till the end. I'm going to show you Unify 2. Just a brief little something. But not till the end. Got to stay here till the end. We've been working really hard, and we're to a point where we're going to show you something. But we got a ways to go till we get there. Yes, a teaser. I've got a new library I'm working on. I'm going to show you. It kind of ties in with Space Blender very nicely. It's called Starfield. I started Starfield before I knew about Space Blender. But, you know, sometimes the cosmos and all that stuff just kind of happens as it does. Anyway, welcome. My name's John Limcool. This is our live stream we do every week, supporting the plugin we love called Unify. It's a plugin we have created. It lets you load all of your plugins, play with them in creative ways. If I want to take this nice sound and let's bypass Space Blender, but I could go to any other patch that is inside this library, and by just changing this to Unify plus layer, click this and it loads a new patch into Unify. So now it's a lot more. We're a little loud, so let's turn down. We could go to a completely different library like Groove Summit, which is drum grooves all over the place. Let's go down here to the Summit. Let's load Can't Say No as a new Unify layer, and now we have drums. So the power of Unify is something that most plugins just kind of like cry when they see, because the ability to take any of the patches that you create in Unify format and load them. I could go to the new TVS Pro, this new synth I'm going to be showing you from GeForce. The Unified library is available. The link is in the video description. I think I put it in there. But I could go over to the sequence stuff and write Unify layers. So I could say flow states. And I don't know if this will play or not, but there it is. It's playing some weird mode, so it's using an arpeggiator. So I'll show you this in a minute too. This is a new plugin from GeForce Audio called TVS Pro. It is a dual SEM analog synthesizer with some really, really cool abilities inside of it. Here, we could do this. We could try some other patches here to see if we can find something that matches. There we go. Sorta, it's still not following chords because so many. Anyway, you get the idea. So we have a lot of fun. The first thing we're going to look at is this son of a gun right here. This is just nuts. So Sound Toys has released a new plugin called Space Blender, and it's a type of reverb. It's not convolution. It's not purely algorithmic like other reverbs are done. They found something kind of new, and the really cool thing about it is that there's this sucker right here. This little dot lets you actually change the shape of the reverb, and you can do it in real time. And all of this is pretty cool for a $100 plugin because the sound of it is really, really cool. The insane thing about it is it's free, so that you can get it right now for free without having to spend $100. You've got till May 22nd, so they gave you a nice window of time as to, hey, Jim, Don, Kendall, all you guys, good evening, welcome. Now, there's a reason I have as a theory. I don't have proof of this. I haven't talked directly with the guys at Sound Toys, but I have a theory why they're doing this. I think they have a bigger, cooler version of this, or they have their new updated collection, which will have an updated, cool version of this that they're going to want to sell you. And so this is their calling card to be able to send an email to you saying, hey, look at this. We've got an even cooler version, because if you notice, Sound Toys they have modulation to a lot of their things. If you go to some of their other plugins, if you go Sound Toys, they have a lot of things. Crystallizer is a really cool, like ultimate digital delay with pitch shifting and stuff. And it has this tweak button, which gets you into all sorts of things for changing the sounds and so forth. I might be wrong, but I have a feeling that they have a bigger version of this. If not, they should, because I'm going to show you that in Unify, we can get into some of that bigger stuff already. Hey, Barry in the Netherlands. So let me show you. I was playing, Purity is a great library to show off this reverb because it's such a pure library. The sounds are beautiful. Oh, let's do this. Let's put Unify layer back to normal. For those of you just joining, I'm going to be showing a teaser of Unify 2 at the end of the live stream. So don't leave. You're going to want to see where we are. We are super excited. I'm only showing a screenshot. I'm not loading it up. I'm not showing it do anything because we're not there yet. But we are at a place. I'm not sure if Wave Sequencer's here or not, but Paul has worked like you can't even put words to how much work he's put into what it has become. And he is worthy of being very proud of it. I am very proud of what we have created. And it is definitely, like, after working with it for a while, this is kind of like working with crayons compared to where Unify 2 is going to go. So it's really exciting. This has all that power, but you'll see what I mean. When I show you the screenshot, you'll immediately understand what is going on, because it is beautiful. But not till the end of the live stream, so you got to stay around. So this is one of the purities. These are these beautiful crystal bowls that I sampled. These are the Awakens where you hear the squeaks and stuff. Let's put Blender right here, and if you just type Blender right here, it shows up. Takes it a second. It mutes the audio when it first loads up. But here it is. And you hear it's already doing something with the residual sounds. Now, the way that it calls up, you play a note, and it really sounds like, remember the Mega Magic technique that I use for Mega Magic Dreams and pads and all that stuff? It really has that kind of, it's focusing in the tones, and it doesn't have mud. It's not like your typical reverb. Even if you make it even longer, it just rings out. They've kind of, I should sue them, no, but they have that kind of quality that it's really unique. It doesn't work in the same way that other reverbs work, especially when you grab this little pink dot in the interface and you move this around, because you can change by the X and the Y what it does. You could put it like this so it has a swell in the middle. So now, and you can shorten the time, and you can even sync it. So we could say, let's put it to 8th notes. So it's 2 measures. So super, super cool. Now, if you don't have warp turned on, you change the time. It just adjusts the time without any residuals, right? If you turn on warp, it now processes in real time whatever is in its buffers. So you do crazy things like that. And there's colors here for the modulation, the tone. Let's see, is this loud enough? Let me turn this up a little bit louder, because see how it gives it a nice chorus? Here it is really straight. The texture gives it more like detail. If you pull this down, it becomes simplified. So it becomes kind of like Supermassive, you know, from Valhalla, which is kind of interesting. And even with warp, it does a cool thing with the texture stuff. So you can do colors like high pass, low pass. So if you go to the right, it gets thinner and brighter. If you go the other way, makes it nice and dark. So it's really, really cool. Now let me show you something really fun. If you were to take, and instead of putting this here on the master effects, let's put it on the instrument layer, and let's do this. Let's go down to like maybe one of the loops. These are loops where I played and I recycled them so that they're, and let's do one of the 8 voice so I can play chords as well. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to load this into a Unify single layer patch. So I'm going to hold down init, and I'm going to hold down option when I click init, so it erases everybody, and I can get rid of these guys, because I have to have one instrument. Unify won't let you do it without. But I can right click on this and say load this into a new Unify layer, and then boom, delete it. So that way, this is And then once I get inside of this Unify layer at the output, I'm going to put Space Blender right here. So go Space Blender. The reason I'm embedding it is because I'm going to do some real-time, I want these knobs to start dancing. And so inside of Unify, so let's first find what we want it to do. I want it to be a little bit shorter. I'm going to bring this, and I'm going to bring the Y-axis down, which makes it more like a typical reverb, right? I want to do that. I want do something fun with this, right? So there's all sorts of places we can play. Now, the way to set this up with anything is as soon as you have a Unify layer, you can add a CC Writer MIDI effect right here on the, this as like, if you look from the left to right, the CC Writer is now adding a CC that's going to be doing, let's have it just do a standard calculated saw up. So it starts at minimum value and goes up. And now it's sending on CC20. So if I open up this Unify layer again, and I go to the knobs, let's go over here to a page that doesn't have any, let's make it simple. Let's go here to the pages that don't have anything assigned. Let's not, I could have way too much going really quickly. I don't want to do that. And I'm just go to the little dot, and I go assign CC, and I say 20. And now this knob is moving. And so if I, there's a couple ways to do this. I could, the easy way, so that you guys can see how to do this really easily. First of all, bypass CC Writer, so it's not sending any CC information right now. We've turned it off. Open up Space Blender. We want to first assign what we want to this knob. So I'm going to hit the little ear, so it's blinking at me, and let's move the mix. And now I can turn back on CC Writer, and you will notice that now the mix is dancing. So right? Now, when I right-click over here on the knob page, this is the instructions of what value is supposed to be sent as CC Writer is going from bottom to top. And what's fun with Unify is that this knob, if you double-click, you can break it, and you can make multiple breakpoints. So I could have it like go up crazy and down and then back up and then back down and then sit here and be like that. So now, so we got mix playing. That's pretty cool. But we wanted, of course, to do more than that, right? So let's go over here and let's bypass CC Writer again, so that we're not sending MIDI CC right now. And let's go over here, hit the ear, and let's also have it play with time. And now it starts to get even more nutty, because this time parameter, when you have the warp, if you got to make sure you have the warp button turned on. But now you see it's doing its thing. And if we right click on this, you'll see that we have two parameters. Each parameter has its own curve. That's the beautiful thing with Unify, is that one knob can be sending all sorts of different information to different parameters of all your plugins. So you know, I mean, even that's cool. And we haven't even like said, well, what do I want it to really do? We're just let's say we don't want it to go up to the crazy times. So it's experimental. This is the fun thing with music, is coming up with experimented stuff. So you could have this going on. I close the top Unify, it all closes down. And then I could go to another library, like Groove Summit with all the cool grooves, and go down here to the summits. Maybe Camp 2, funk with it. Split this, put a bass. So you can start playing with this stuff in all sorts of really cool, fun ways. But that's just one CC writer, and you could have multiple CC writers. You could also go to Unify, and you could go to more than one knob. Let's say I want to play stuff inside of the Unify interface. All I have to do is if I tell another knob to listen to CC20, it's doing it too. I can even go to already existing knobs. Like here's delay. Let's set that up to CC20. And right click on this so I can see the parameters. And because it's having to do this stuff in multiple layers and stuff like that, it'd take a lot of work to change the knob assignments and stuff. So I'm not gonna attempt that live with you guys. But here, let's put reverb also to 20. So go here to the CC20. So reverb is. So you can have all sorts of stuff happening with the knobs, just like that, right? I would like to say a huge thank you for all the live stream. Oh, thank you, Wolf's Kid, man. Thank you. Yeah, I leave Tuesday for Berlin. It's going to be really, really fun. Let's see. I'm looking at just questions for a quick second so I can see. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. Berlin Orchestra is something I'm working on. I'm trying to decide how to do that one. I've unified all the patches, and I'm still experimenting. For those of you that just joined up, make sure you hang around. At the end of the live stream, I'm going to show you Unify 2. You're going to get to see what Unify 2 looks like. How different is it from Unify 1? And it will knock your socks off. It's really exciting, really, really exciting, but not till the end of the live stream. So the end summary is that Space Blender is a really cool, I would say maybe even groundbreaking effect process. Let's see, where's it at? Space Blender. The ability to shape the reverb with this XY control to have it be an attack type. You can do all sorts of things. There's lots of presets that show all the gated stuff. Let me call this on Groove Summit really quick so you can hear a couple examples. Let's call up a drum groove like this. No, too much. I want it to be. That'd be fun. So go here, Space Blender. Blender. There's gated reverb, and they have, because of the tools that they have here, you can get. That's kind of strange, but if you shorten it, now grab the little dot. Let's have it become more like a traditional reverb by bringing this dot down to the bottom left. But now it's real fun is like go, ooh. Then change the color. I wish it had distortion and all sorts of stuff. You know, you get all sorts of cool stuff. If you go to the presets, they have gated like 1985. Dark gates. If you want to try this on pads, you could go to something. I'll show you Starfield in a minute. Let's say Mega Magic Pads Volume 1. One of the this is one of my best-selling libraries I've ever released. Oh, by the way, there's a website sale at my site until May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. If you go to the Plug-In Guru website and you go to the products page, now, Wave Sequencers plugins, I didn't include on the sale because they become like $10 because they're fairly inexpensive. But even like Airwave, if you add a $39 library to your cart and you go to checkout, and if you go over here to the discount code and you say $20 to spend and you hit apply. Oh, of course, I was not going to get it right. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I'll share a little. It's kind of embarrassing, but I am who I am, right? I had encephalitis when I was a little kid, when I was like a year and a half, 2. And I had a 107-degree temperature for over 2 weeks. And the doctor said I was not going to survive. And I told my parents to go home. And if I did, I would be basically, my brain would be damaged pretty severely because of the fever I had for so long. And God healed me. My mom and dad went downstairs, prayed at the chapel. And like that, I was, after all this stuff and convulsions and all this stuff, I came out of it and asked for the blanket. And I used to had some sort of a netting over the crib, because when I had the convulsions, I would fall out of the crib. Crazy stuff. And so my brain's a little scrambled. I will admit, I'm not your normal kind of person. And so let me see. I want to say right here, I don't remember details. When you guys write email to me, and I did tech support, I swear, I would have to go to Unify and find the plugin and look at the name of the parameter, because I couldn't remember it. And I've worked literally hundreds of thousands of hours inside of Unify, but I don't remember any details like that for the life of me. And so, like a promo code, I have to go reference it and stuff. I did it wrong. So it's not S, it's just a 2. So $20 to spend, boom. If you put in that promo code, it's 19. So I've had a couple miracles in my life. I had tinnitus from playing drums in a church for about 2.5 years with no ear protection. I would rock out, I was just big, loud monitors. I had tinnitus like crazy. And one day, it all of a sudden wasn't there. And I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of countries that all pray to God, and you can see God. It's a personal relationship. I have my view of God. Everybody has their view of things. I have had a couple things in my life happen where there's definitely been intervention from upstairs. And my ears, I have no ringing right now. I had tinnitus, and one day I was making a sandwich for my daughter, and it went away. So I've had a couple of these kind of strange situations where it's like, wow, I mean, trying to do what I do and make sounds and listen to those details and have high ringing pitches in both ears. I'd be taking pictures out in fields at sunset with my camera, and it'd be just still in the birds and the ringing in my ears. It was just really depressing for a handful of years. And then inexplicably, it went away. So there is a God, and he has helped me in this life a number of times in ways that are seemingly almost impossible, right? So thank you. Thank you upstairs, right? But anyway, I got the promo code. If you put $20 to spend, here, let me show you the email. If you don't belong to our newsletter, you should, because I do sales all the time. And there's a sale until Monday night. $20 cash in your pocket. Use the promo code $20 to spend to buy a library. Now, I'm going to tell you how to trick the system. I like to trick systems. I mean, if you do, excuse me, one library at a time. Don't do 2 libraries. Don't do 3 libraries at a time. Do 1 library at a time. I didn't put a limit on how many times you can use this promo code. So each time you do it, you can save $20 off each library. And you'll save more money that way. And if you add 2 things and then you do $20 off, you're getting $20 off from 2 libraries. It's not as much savings as if you were to do 2 separate purchases and do them as 2 separate purchases. So just so you know, this goes until Monday night, Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm going to Mexico City for Halloween. I can't wait. So Cinco de Mayo is a great day, and we want to celebrate it, right? God is good. Amen. All right. So there is a promo code at the website. And so, yeah. So for me, every day has been a gift since I was 2 years old, because I'm not supposed to be here. It was written up in magazines when I was a child as a miracle, because, the doctors said, well, thank gosh, the fever is broke and everything, but, he's probably going to need a wheelchair. And at that time, I was running to get a hug from my grandma. So, it's just, you can't explain it. There's stuff we can't comprehend above us that is there for us if we reach out. And so, God is good. So anyway, long story short, promo code at the website for the sale until then. Make sure you get this Space Blender. It is super fun. I was going to show you on a pad what you can do with this. Let's take something like, oh, let's use Interstellar Dry, which is already big and huge, but you put Space Blender on it, and of course it's going to become bigger and more awesome and all that kind of stuff. So bring up the texture, bring up the modulation, make it a little longer, maybe give it a little bit of shape so it's not quite so just full length. And if you're doing ambient music, holy cow. You can also do really cool effects. If you set this to be more like a fade-in thing, let's make it a little bit shorter. One thing that I love with pads is if you go into Guru Sampler, you can move the sample start and you can move the attack. Let's shorten that. And again, if you set this to sync, you can get all sorts of really interesting I would say more percussive and pure sounds. So how do you get this to be more pure? Filter. So let's bring down the filter. And let's bring up the envelope. It can just be really interesting texture. And they have all sorts of things here for swells, decays, and stuff like that. So, and by the way, I think yeah. If you set the lock, and I think you hold down Control and Option or Alt, you can lock it. So this way you can go through the presets and the mix won't change. Anyway, really amazing plugin. It's really amazing they made it free. I think it's because they have a better, even more cooler version or their collection, and they want to let you know about that by email because you have to give them their email. It's iLock, so you have a code that you run in with the iLock. It's very easy to authorize your computer or your USB iLock device if you have one and get it to work. So it's really, really, really cool. Yes. Well, we were showing Adrian that we could do that inside of Unify. What's fun is, let's do this again. Let's choose a different sound. Let's find something that's a little bit more pure inside the library. Let's do this. And then, you know, it's got to really be like a pure, I really find the Purity library works so well for this because it's really cool attacks. Let's use one of the other bowls and let's use like a hit. And let's do this. Let's put an arpeggiator on this for fun. I'll show you a fun trick here. So let's go over here to step type and say random. And then watch this. If you click right here, you can quickly take any layer and turn it into a Unify layer. So that way you can quickly go over here to utility, to CC Writer. This gives us CC20 that's now going crazy. And I'm going to change the shape of this to be saw up. And we'll keep it at 1 bar for fun. And then open up this Unify layer. Before we assign any knob to CC Writer, let's go to the knobs. And let's go over here and put a groove sample Space Blender here. I remember the name of that. I don't forget everything. It's funny. It's very weird how my brain works. I don't even know how to explain it because I can't explain it myself. And let's put the warp on because that's really fun. And let's hit the little listening ear. Let's move this. Let's go over here to macro 2 and let's move at this. That's shape Y. Move the ear here and see if we can get shape X. Nope. Well, there's a really quick, fun thing inside of Unify. You can double click and say, no, we want shape X. So now I have X, Y, and time, and I want one more. So I'm going to do these separate. I could do these all on one knob, but it's kind of fun to do it just separate. And I'm going to move the mix. So I could set these all now to CC20, and they start immediately dancing. And this is just the beginning of the insanity. So we go assign to CC20, CC20. Everybody's doing the same thing now. Now time, let's open up time first. And I'm gonna break it down by just change the curvature. And let's have the shape for Y. As you can see, we have it like going across the interface like this. Let's go to mix. Let's have it go really, lots of mix, then none. So you can modulate inside of Unify any parameter of any plugin that's loaded into Unify. It's a sick level of power because you can say this is a patch. Like I showed earlier, we could now go over here to Groove Summit. We could say, let's go to the Camp 4, which is all the cool drum machine stuff. And we could say, let's load this as Unify layer, and let's have, let's see. Let's have it. Okay, here's a stack, so we can call this up, you know. And now you can play with it and go, oh, I want to shape it to match with the rhythm and stuff. I want to go here to the Y shape, and I went. And I want the X shape. I want to invert this. So the power of getting stuff to be modulated, you don't need to be in a DAW, you don't need to be anywhere else, and this lets you do it to every plugin you see on the screen. These could all be, well, not here because you'd have to be inside of a Unify layer, but inside of this layer, if I had auxiliary buses, things on the master effects, all that stuff, yeah, quite a few hours can go away of pure bliss and joy. So it's really good time. Okay, so that's really cool and fun. Get Space Blender. End of, that's all I gotta say. And let me check. I think I put into, and oh, hey, more of you guys showed up. Hey, welcome to the live stream. I'm John Limcool. This is Unify 1. We're playing with all the fun things. It lets you, it's a doggy park for your plugins. I'm gonna show Unify 2. We've been working on it. I'm gonna show you only a screenshot. We're not gonna call it the plugin because we still have months to go. But we are at a really, really cool place where we are gonna, I'm going to be in Frankfurt or Berlin showing on an iPad what I'm going to show you guys. And so because you guys are the diehard #1 fans, Guru Nation, I am going to show you guys first before I even get to Berlin. Okay. So at the end of the live stream, I'm going to show you Unify 2 for a moment and let you see where we are going. What is our direction? What is happening? Because it's really, really exciting. Okay. Next up on the list to show you guys is a new plugin from our friends at GeForce. They have been working this Tom Oberheim, SEM, all the other synths that they've released that are in that category of see, I don't remember the model names of everything. I just don't remember that stuff. So if I go GeForce, like the OB1, OBE, OBX, all of those, this is kind of in that same family of synths. It's an SCM based with Tom Oberheim's. It's got the Tom Oberheim logo right there. You've got all the cool controls like the, it sounds great. One thing that's really fun is because it's two SEMs, they decided to do all sorts of fun things with this sequencer. So right here on this mode, you can change between all these different possible configurations of how to use these two modules and the sequencer to create all sorts. You can have everything play through it. Right? For all sorts of fun mayhem, but each patch can have a completely different use. There's also really cool things they have, like ratchets. So each one of these can have a set number of ratchets. Oh, I was gonna see real quick. Let me see if I think I put the links to all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so you can get information about this. This synthesizer is like $33, I think, at their website. So their introductory pricing is sweet. And it has all sorts of cool sounds, all sorts of categories. Classic Kate. Right, so all sorts of places to go. We've unified all 640 patches, which means that you could go down to like the pads, and here's, it is polyphonic. This is not polyphonic though, so. I thought it was polyphonic. Didn't they have a polyphony thing here? Well, if it's not polyphonic, then I can show you something really cool. Yeah, maybe it's just, it's not. I don't see any, right? So. Well, check this out. Maybe you wanted this to be polyphonic. Inside a Unify, you can make it polyphonic. So if we go over here to the layers, we go to our MIDI effects, and we say Polybox 8 layers. So this is going to be 8 voices of polyphony. All you have to do is link this layer to this MIDI effect. So we just click right here and say, listen to that. Change this to MIDI channel 1. Okay, cool. Yes. And then all you have to do after doing that is go to this little dot and say, give me 7 more with the next MIDI channel for each one. And now we have a TVS Pro, 8 voices of polyphony. And right, that's not really the right patch to show it off, but let's go to synth. Maybe we'll find something cool here. Huh? I should have studied up on this a little bit more. I apologize for that. Let me go TVS Pro. Let's see, GForce software. Explore. TVS Pro. 2 SEMs and a step sequencer. So it's 2 VCOs with pulse and sawtooth. Okay, so it is just able to play 2 oscillators, 1 note, it looks like. So that's where it's really fun to take patches. It only takes a couple steps. I'll show you an even cooler trick. Check this out. If you make this a Unify layer first, that allows you to do something even cooler. So over here, go MIDI effects, go to 8-layer Polybox preset. What that does is it makes a new MIDI effect layer. MIDI effect layers can talk to all the MIDI, the instrument layers below it if they're connected. So we connect this, set this to MIDI channel 1, and we say duplicate this times 7. And now we have because each of these are Unify layers, two things. We made a shortcut to get you back to a starting point to like choose a different patch, because, you know, it's kind of like, instead of like undo, all you have to do is hold down Option or Alt and click Init. And what that will do is it won't delete the MIDI effect, it won't delete the first instrument, and it won't delete any auxiliary or master effects, but any additional layers, boom, are gone. And then if you bypass Polybox, you can now surf and find a different sound. And since I have this in a Unify layer, all I have to do is go to the TVS Pro, go to these lead sounds that were all over the place, or keys. Well, that'd be cool to play chords with. Find something you want to play chords with. All you have to do is turn back on Polybox, because what happens, Polybox's instructions are each note it gets, it advances the MIDI channel by 1. So there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next note is that sound again. So it's just cycling each note and advancing it on its MIDI channel to the next MIDI channel. So all I have to do is go over here and do this make 7. That's why we put these duplicate like this, so that now I can so any monophonic synth can be polyphonic. Just like that. The other fun thing with this is, if you want, you could open up each one of these, make them a different sound, just even randomly. I'm just going down and just choosing stuff without even knowing what I'm doing. And now you have wave sequencing, because each note I play, let's say, you could actually tell Polybox if you want to be what's called chord AR. And then if you have a sequencer running, let's go over here and say blue ARP and put that in front of here. Now, each time that I restart, because I set Polybox to chord AR, I don't understand how it works, because when you're playing it by keys, it doesn't. But from here, it will start at the top. So I can have this go up plus 12. And I have a reverb here. So the second one, I can have reverb. So there's all sorts of places you can play. And because these are Unify layers, it doesn't have to be the TVS Pro for each of these. I could go over here and let's say Purity, which has the nice cool attacks. And let's have a couple of these sounds be Purity sounds. So we'll go over to number 2, which has that reverb popping up. But let's say we want it instead to be Purity right here. I just love these sounds. Because like pretty bells. So now I could put Space Blender on some of these layers. I mean, seriously, hours and hours get lost with what you can do with the powers in Unify. It's very fun because it's like this creative palette. You can get into incredible, intricate things like these patches. Some of these would take literally hours. Some went faster, but to be able to sketch all the stuff that you went out, and play with it is really, really fun. So, TVS Pro, very, very cool, very affordable. Same stuff. Hey, Shane's here. Hey, sounds like Doctor Who theme. Well, the other cool thing, like I've changed patches, right? If you right click on revert, we auto save what you've done. So if you accidentally hit the wrong button and change patches, just right click on revert and we save the number of patches. So I could go back here to this lead, call this back up, and it's back, just like that. So there's all sorts of fun things like that to play with. So very exciting. TVS Pro, the link is in the video description. Check it out. GeForce is good, guys. I can't wait to see them and say hi to them in Berlin. Hey, there's Paul. Yay. Welcome, Paul. All right, well, I have a new library to show you, but I tell you what. I think I'll show you Unify 2 right now since Paul is here. Because Paul, I just have to say, has worked months and months and months with what I'm going to show you. It's really exciting. We talked about this to agree that we would show this. It's kind of just a little mark in sand. I want you guys to know that there's something really happening. So often it's like, oh, they're talking about some new plugin. Oh yeah, it's still on paper. There's still, it's farther along than that. Thank goodness. And I'm really excited to show you. I also have a little bit of a history thing I can show you too. So let's start at the beginning. Are you ready? So that is the first version of Unify that Shane created based on a Photoshop document that I created. And it used to have a little plus over here that would open up the layer that gave you things and so forth, right? This was like the very, very beginning when we actually designed Unify first on the iPad. And then because I talked to Shane, Shane had helped make the keyboard, the little show MIDI and stuff like that. And I had seen that Audio Unit version 3's applications could load multiple plugins that weren't their plugins because of the Audio Unit version 3 format. And so I talked to Shane and said, it'd be really cool to do that. iPads can do that. And then we realized that once you did it and you played big chords, it couldn't play it. And so we went, okay, well, iPads aren't powerful enough. I said, I wish you could do that on a computer. And Shane goes, oh, I've been working on it on the computer and it's working. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, so draw an interface of what you think we should do and go into a laboratory in space. So we worked on it, advanced it further. 5 years ago, 2019 Super Booth, I showed this. Urs Heckman, a dear friend of mine that owns Uhi and all the really cool Zebra plugins, he let me share his space at Super Booth and do presentations of this. And this is where we were at in 2019. And then after this, I got feedback that the interface wasn't good enough. And so we needed to make it better. And so I got a hold of, at the time, a gentleman, Matt Chowski. He lives in Poland. He did all my artwork for probably 30 or 40 libraries. He did a Photoshop mock-up, which we used as our inspiration. And now Unify looks like this and has the layers and custom colors and all this kind of stuff. And we've got, here's our instrument layers. Here's our auxiliary layers. This is one of Fred's patches. And if you click here, it changes to the artwork and does all that kind of stuff. Oh, a bit off the screen. Okay, let me do this. Let me go over here. Let's get this to be size so it's just the right size so you can see the right thing. Because here, let's do this also. We'll get rid of this picture and this picture so we can just show what we are talking about, right? So this is Unify right now. This is where we are at. Are you ready? Bum! Unify 2. We have separated the auxiliaries and the master are now separated so they stay. There's minimized controls. So this is the minimized view. And here is the maximized view. We're working on things. Things will still change. The logo might change. The brightness of things and stuff like that. Getting the distinction between the master effect layers and these layers and stuff. But we have a keyboard that shows the keyboard activity of what you're playing. When you click on it, it does all sorts of cool things. Again, I'm not going to talk about all the parameters and stuff that you see. A lot of these things are things we're working on actively to develop, but we are taking it into a place where it has a much different, more from this to this. So when we say it's a paid upgrade, it's not because we put lipstick and a few additional things to this. It's pretty much a reinterpretation of how we will use Unify 2 to make it better, more efficient. If you see, the transport is always here at the bottom. It doesn't go away. So if you need to set things, changing the different modes, etc., they are right there all the time. We're thrilled, and it's fun to work with. It's got the colors like Unify has. These little minimize buttons let you minimize just one, and if you right click, it will minimize the entire set. Huge amount of thought by Paul has gone into this interface. So everybody, do a little shout out, and shout out to Paul. I'm going to shout out to Paul because he went into the mountains for a week in December, I think it was, and really just by him, he has a cabin in the woods. So he goes to the cabin in the woods and put this together, just the layout, and we discussed and worked, and we've worked together on this, and it's awesome. By the way, this is the artwork that Fred set up for the library. It will automatically change and show you that when you change patches. And it totally scales. There's no place where it falls out. It's really, really well done. It's really fun. Really thrilled that we have something. It works right now, but I'm not showing it. We have months to go. There's a lot still to do. And I don't want to talk about some of the things you see down here in the interface yet. We'll talk about those when it's ready and you can have it. Is when we'll probably show the next version. I'm not going to do updates like this all the time. But since I'm going to Berlin, and I'm going to be showing this on my iPad to people, I want to show you guys first, because I appreciate each and every one of you guys so much for just being supportive for so long and showing up for all these live streams and being incredible customers. And the number of you guys that own tons of our libraries and stuff. I mean, I don't want to cry. I feel like crying almost, but I really appreciate all of you. And what you let me do this as a real full-time job. You let Paul is doing this. Paul is one of these guys that could be working at Google, making way more money than I am paying him to do what he is doing. But because he loves synthesizers, and because he loves making his synthesizers, and because he loves this stuff, he is with us and not somewhere else doing AI development. He's working with us. And so it's a privilege to have him on our team, and I appreciate him so much for being here and committed to getting this to be badass. It's really, really exciting. So, yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. It has a much different vibe to it than where we're. Not that we're in a bad place now. It works and everything. Everything that you see in this interface is pretty much already there in Unify. It's just a little bit different polish, and this polish takes months and months, and I'm paying Paul for months and months of work. It has to be a paid upgrade because we have to get our money back from what we were paying to do this. But you can see it's worth it. This is going to be just awesome. There's so much more it does. We'll talk about it, like I said. The next time we probably touch base is when we're like really, really close to it being done. We're not even in beta yet. So there's still more stuff to do, but he's worked so hard to get this to work and look this way, and it's really, really fun to work with. So I wanted to share it with you. So there's our sneak peek, and thank you, Paul, again for what you're doing. I mean, and I'm not even going to get into the parameters, but the customization that you can do to make Unify 2 your jam, whether you can do stuff that's just awesomely cool. It is so cool. So we are in a really cool place. I'm really, really excited for what is coming. And thank you again, Paul. And it's fun to work with someone that gets it, you know, and we get to discuss and talk about things, and we have to be open, and we see things differently, of course. So there is, just like with Shane, times where we discuss things and have to work with things, but it makes it makes it better in the end, right? So it's been really, really fun. Oh, of course, you're getting into all the questions. We're not talking parameters and what it can do and can't do. And again, this is Unify 2, and there's still you guys have given us literally a list of like 300 pages of requests that Shane has kept track of. Paul has gone through them, put what he feels to be the top priorities, and then worked on the interface addressing a lot of those suggestions. There's still going to be stuff we need to do for Unify 3. There's stuff we'll still need to do for Unify 4. This is ongoing. It's like, Photoshop's at level version 25, So if there's some things you guys might be asking for, we're not planning on doing, because we're planning right now on doing other things. Guru Sampler is getting upgraded. Stuff like that is our priorities right now for Unify 2, not other things that are maybe farther down the list, okay? But it's looking good. It's really, really exciting. So there you go. Now the waiting is even harder. I know I was debating showing this, but I wanted just to show you it's real. We are months away, not years. It's not like just some paper dream. It's closer to reality than we've, ever been. So I'm sorry. I like to show stuff, and I shouldn't show stuff in some respects because it does make people want something you can't have, but we're not there yet. But I just want you to know that it's really, really cool, and that I want to show it to you guys first because you guys are the family, and I appreciate all of you. So, but just so you know, work is ongoing on something really exciting that we feel really good to be working on. So, the carrot has been dangled. Yes, just a little carrot. We're working on it. We're actively doing stuff. It's not one of these things where, it's light years away. It's better than that. And so we're excited. All right. So next up, I'm going to show you real quickly a library that I've been working on. This is the one time I'm glad I'm old and the months pass like days. Oh, Ken, that is a quote. I got to write that down because I'm getting old and the days are still really long. But they do pass. I do know what you mean. All right, so I'm working on a library called Starfield, and I came up with a really cool technique. I'm probably going to make some more sounds now that Space Blender has come out because I want to do some things maybe with that as well. But Starfield is built in Novum and then sampled. I don't think I'm going to include the presets because they transform in such a really cool way once they get over here inside of Unify. And so these are there's 33 sounds I have made so far. There's a whole series of chords. I really liked what this could do with chords. So we have these really cool chords made from all sorts of different components and me playing different chords. And so this will be coming out before my birthday. Maybe my birthday's June 16th. So I don't know if this will be the June bird. It'll probably take that long still to do. But these sounds are just so... Right? I got artwork and stuff to make for these. I'm going to make some more of these kind of leads that are... really fun. And then the pads are just insane. They have a really beautiful quality. But that motion, that animated in there. There's really, really cool plucks. What's kind of funny, it has kind of a refined kind of space blender kind of a vibe, because it has, I wanted samples, I designed stuff that kind of had it attack and then go into this body of motion. So they're all animated. Because of all these chords, you can do all the subs with basses and stuff like that. Now, the other thing, I haven't even sampled these yet. One of my customers that has bought many libraries always is sending me suggestions of cool instruments I need to check out. And he told me about something that I wasn't even aware of. And I bought a set of what are called koshi bells. Is that right? Koji? They're from Japan. Koshi bells. And they are these bamboo circulars with a little striker and then tuned pegs. And you can... There's 4 of them. So just like Mega Magic Motion, remember that library? Actually, it's Cutting Edge Motion that I created, where I did, Magic Motion. These types of motion things where I did like wind chimes and I did sparse, so it played just one note. But I played it a couple of times. So you can play them and then they... So I'm going to do some sampling like that with these koshi bells. Here's one, and there's 4 of them. So there's kind of a major chord. There's that one. And it's funny is for the last like 4 months, I've had these on the doors in my kitchen to like plates and glasses. So anytime I open... Oh. Hey, buddy, I'm on a live stream.
Still? Okay, gotcha.
I'll call you back.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye. So there's number 3, and then I have number 4. So I'm going to be sampling these. I'm going to try to figure out if I can play each of the little tuning pins by themselves to get a playable instrument version of it as well. It's really tricky to get something in there to attack them. But I just need to check. Featuring oh, you did a koshi. Okay, yeah. So these are lovely. A lot of people know about these. I didn't know about these. So I was really thankful to be told about them. And so these will be in Starfield as well as some other really cool things. I'm just developing it as we speak. So let me show you a couple more sounds from it really quick. It's got some really interesting basses that have really... And because of the way Novum works, some really fun stuff. So it's a cool ambient kind of library. I haven't done an ambient library this year, so I was like, And what's really fun is if you bring your sample start, you get all sorts of really cool dancey hits. Right? So And if you go over here and you set this to be a one-shot unilateral, speed this up with a custom waveform that's got a nice sharp curve like this. Right? So you can do fun things like that as well. This is library. Well, this library won't be. Unify 2 will be multiple outputs. Yes. Yes. Every layer in Unify 2, even auxiliaries, can be sent to different audio output assignments and stuff like that. So it's super flexible on that front. Some cool synths. So really, really cool sounds with a unique kind of vibe. They all have a lot of life in the samples, which I was happy with. And again, that cool attack, so. Right? So that is going to be a lots of fun when it comes out. There's some really cool stereo imaging in some of this stuff. Right? Did you say the new GeForce synth has been unified? It has been unified, and there's a link for the download in the video description. That should work. Actually, let me do this really quick. Did I put it? Let me see here. Oh, you know what? I didn't put a link in the video description. Hold on a second here. Let me go over here. TVS Pro Unified. Here is, let me put it in the TVS Pro. We've unified the library, the plugin, and you can download, it's for the VST3 version, the VST3 version here, and it's in the video description, and I'll put it into our chat. Click that link and you will have the library to download. Now, what I mean by VST3, just so we're clear, if you go over here to the list and you go to here we go, TVS Pro, see where it says VST3. I have the VST, and if you go to operations and there's an option that says select plugin files to scan, that lets you open up your list of your plugins so you can select just one at a time. And so you can go to your VST3 folder and download it, okay? So make sure the VST3 version is known, and that way when you get to the TVS Pro and it's more than a few months. I'm thinking there's stuff to do in Unify 2, so it's not 2 months away. We haven't even entered our beta phase yet, so we're a ways away. But I'm just showing that we have something that we were actually working on that actually is really exciting. So, all right, I think we're gonna wrap it right there. I will not be doing a live stream next week. I will be in Berlin at Super Booth. So there won't be one of these next week. So, sorry. Week after that, I'll be back. We'll have all sorts of stories and video to share from the experience and all that kind of fun stuff. The ESC guys are, they have a Airbnb, and I'm staying close to them in a little hotel, I guess. So it will be, but I will wait until they're. Okay, yeah. Wait for compatibility reports, whatever you need. Let's do our shout outs. No, it's just a tool. Yes, so if you wanted, I could show you real shortly one of the sounds inside of Novum, because I have made them here. If we go to something like, Moog Space Eternal. As you can see, for some of these, I'm using Guru Sampler and some of the sounds inside of Guru Sampler, but here's the sound as it sounds inside a Novum. Novum is a plugin that is a granular synthesizer from Dawsome, and it is an awesome, Dawsome plugin. You can simply call up their presets over here and drag over your own samples, one-shot samples. Just drag it over. Here, for example, I'm not going to do a full demo right now because my brain's kind of fried. But you can call up all their patches. Let's see if I get rid of my stuff, so it's just their stuff. These are all their. Let's do this. Let's mute these. I got sold anyhow, so it should just be this, right? So there's all sorts of things it can do from, you know, the voicing that comes with a lot of these plugins is a little surprising, but for different purposes. And well, it's hitting really loud but sounds soft. I'm not sure what I did. I must have broken something. Let's see here. Why is everything so soft? It's interesting. I'm gonna go over here. That seems really soft. But anyway, so I'm using Novum to build up these sounds. And then I sample them across the keyboard so that I have multiple samples, and that res fall turns into interesting. Something happened to the output volume. Oh, you know what it is? Duh. I turned that down. Oops. This is the final version of it. I like to build sounds sometimes in other plugins for libraries, especially where I can use my own samples and manipulate them in unique ways to get new sounds besides just sampling straight out of an analog synth like so many people do. I've done that too. We've got libraries like that, but there's over 100 libraries at the website. So I like to come up with new ideas and new ways. By the way, make sure you head to the website if you want some inspiring patches. We have lots and lots of libraries. If you go to the products page, you'll see we have libraries for Zebra, for Absinthe, Omnisphere. There's over 40 libraries. If you go to the main page, you can actually tell it what plugin you want. Say you want libraries for pigments. I think we only have one library, Saber Pigs from Tim Dale. If you go to something like Serum, there's a whole bunch of libraries for Serum. So you've got more to choose from. If you go to something like Omnisphere, it's even a larger library base because I've made a lot of libraries. So you can get information on all these different libraries, and you can save $20 on any one of them with the $20 to spend promo code. $20 to spend. No spaces, no large caps, none of that kind of stuff. So let's see here. It's my session at MailChimp expired, so they're so nice. I can show you the newsletter one more time. If anybody has any more questions, pop them up. And let's see here. So here's the email that we sent last night. I sent last night. And as you can see, it's 2 days left also for Endbringer. I didn't mention that. This awesome library from Fred Nongat over here for Diva. This has all the scenes. But do you understand? With really cool samples. This is a dinosaur scene. 2 more days to get this library, 340 patches. The Unify Diva version has all these extra scenes as well as the patches that come with just the Diva only library. So 2 more days of savings at this introductory price. They go up to higher prices. The $20 off doesn't apply to those because they're already at this heavily discounted prices. But the $20 to spend is a promo code that you can apply to any of our regular libraries for the Plug-in GRU libraries. Like I said, Unify, Hyperion, TIA, Diva library, and all the libraries for Hyperion and TIA are not included because they would be discounted even to, you know, I didn't reach out to Paul about this, but the Hyperion TIA libraries would be like $10 or something like that. And I didn't want to sell them that inexpensively. Livestream agenda, we showed our stuff over here for what we did. So I send a newsletter out typically once a week, sometimes twice a week. If you want to join, you can join at the bottom of the Plug-in GRU website. There's a place to just hit down here at the bottom, right here, just subscribe to the newsletter, and then you know about the sales. I'm always doing little promo code sales on weekends and stuff like that. Anyway, so thank you again for joining us. Was there a report that Spitfire was sold? Spitfire was acquired by Splice. So Splice has invested a huge amount of money for that. So yes, it's Splice. Yes. I'm not going to talk about it. It has, you know, AI. I don't know how they're going to use the sample content from sample libraries and what Splice is doing. You know, they must have something that they've been working on to make it worth them investing $50 million. But that's not something I'm about. MPE support in Unify 2. Well, there's MPE support inside of Unify 1 when you load MPE compatible plugins. Whether our plugins like Guru Sampler go to MPE, I don't know. I have to talk to Paul about that. But we're MPE compatible with anything that you load into Unify 2 or Unify 1 already. Soon. Are you in the Berlin at a specific time? You know, we were talking about maybe trying to set a time up. Maybe, how about, let's say, I have some meetings on Friday. So how about if we say at the main entrance to Super Booth Friday at 11 o'clock? If you want to be there, I'll be there to say hi to everybody and just meet in person, right? I have a meeting at 1 o'clock, so I have to be there for that. But Bernie, Tim Dale, Fred Nongat will be with me. So is it safe to drop the VST2 plugin for Unify? You know, I right now with the library, with the plugin question for VST2, a lot of our unified libraries are for the VST2 version. We'll have to convert those over, and they're not converted over yet. So it's I can't say to just ditch VST2. What I suggest people do is you can ditch VST2 and then put back and reinstall and include VST2 for the plugins that you have a unified library you want to load or something like that, because Unify can work with VST2 and VST3 plugins at the same time, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's say 11 o'clock on Friday at the, maybe, I don't know, there's a little outside area that you can be at just outside the main doors into Super Booth. So that's probably where I'll be. I'll have my Plug-in Guru t-shirt on, and probably one of my, we'll have Plug-in Guru hats being worn, stuff like that. So if you're there, come and say hi. It'd be fun to see you. And maybe I'll send a newsletter out letting people know about this too as well. Stuff like that. And we will continue to, yeah, right on, Tim. Oh, by the way, we have a library from Tim Dale coming too. So between now and June, not only Starfield, he has an incredible Omnisphere 2 library that he has made that you guys are going to really, really like. It's got really great. He's done a really great job on it. It's one of his strongest, prettiest libraries. It's really great. I'm really, really happy that he has this library. It's going to be great. You guys are going to dig it. If you like Omnisphere libraries, we'll have it out there for you guys. All right. Thank you. Yeah, we'll have a safe trip. We have some, it's going to be a good time. Crazy time. Been 5 years since I've been there. So it'll be good to be back. We've gone through COVID and all that kind of crazy stuff. Anyway, thank you again for your time, for hanging with us. I look forward to all the great progress we're doing. Shout outs. Yeah, shout out from where we are in the country. Shout out from Eagle, Idaho. It's good to see you all. I love that we are all connected, that we are all excited about future stuff, and yeah, good things. Very good things. All right, where are we at? Studio City. Rybot, my brother. Good to see you. Barry is in the Netherlands. We've got New Zealand in the house, Sweden in the house. Scott, my gosh. It just boggles my mind that we've got you guys in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. I love it. I love it that there's people in so many countries all just hanging out with us. And yes, it's already the May the 4th for you. We haven't hit May the 4th here in Idaho yet. So planet is humming right on. And Kasaka-san in Japan, domo arigatou gozaimashita. Arigato. Domo. Yes. All right. See you guys. Thank you again for the great live stream. It's always fun to hang with you all. It's a great, great privilege. And we'll see you soon. All right. Take care. Bye.